Hey, it's Ronnie. I was putting more new good gas in my car, and my arm got tired, so I'm resting my arms. I figured I'd make a video. I made it short about how my car was misfiring and it wanted to die when I cut the corner, and I showed that I had full fuel pressure and everything, and I said, I'll guarantee you, this fuel filter is the old fuel filter is full of water, rusty colored water. Well, yeah, I pulled the filter off. Clear gas came out the back and the front first, but it was still 3/4 full of gas. I sat on the ground, waited a half hour, 45 minutes while I put in the other new filter and fired up the car, and misfired, but it run. But uh, the automatic idle control would bring it up and try to fight it up and down, and then it couldn't keep up and it'd die because it was sucking water yet. So I unhooked. This is an idle air controller. I unhooked it so it's not doing anything from the computer. I'm lucky on this, it has a set screw, and I just set the idle up with a set screw to hold it so it's not fighting back and forth. And it had run fine, like it's sounding pretty good now. And then all of a sudden, and then every once in a while it quit. So I figured out there's a lot of water in here yet, and I'm going to have to order another new fuel filter, because what rusty water I got from getting fuel is going to mess up my new fuel filter if I don't totally plug it up, which mine, it wasn't plugged up. You can see I show you the pressure gauge. It had pressure and flow, but it was all rust. It was catching all that rust. It would have plugged it up sooner or later. All that rust is from the steel fueled underground fuel tanks when they get half empty and moisture condensing inside them, and all that settles to the bottom of the tank. So, and their filters on the fuel pumps themselves will catch the metal particulates, but they won't stop the water. And that's why it looks like the water that came out of the filter, I let it sit on the ground for a half hour and then kind of shook it up and then stood it up and down, poured it out. Yeah, the gas that should be color in my hand when the sun shined on it looked like that. It was the color of my arm that came out of that fuel filter. Clear full of rusty water crap. So now I got, like I said, 5 gallons. All I can find is 10% ethanol. Ethanol will help burn water out. I always run ethanol in this car, and the only time I've ever had a problem with water is when I got water so bad it wouldn't run correctly, because that 10% alcohol, if you put in 10 gallons, you got a gallon of alcohol. That alcohol will absorb into the water and help burn that water out, so you don't have a condensation problem in your tank or anything. But I said, when you get probably a half a gallon of water in 7-8 gallons of gas that I got, 10% ethanol ain't gonna make it burn. There's not enough alcohol in it to burn it, and it just misfires and messes up your fuel filter. So what I'm gonna do, just to be safe, I'm gonna pour in this 5 gallons of 10%, which would be another half gallon of alcohol. But I think I think you need like 90% alcohol against 10% water, if not 95. I have to check the specs, I can't remember. But alcohol can only burn, like, if you got 95% alcohol, it'll burn 5%. You can put water and it'll burn. I think that's about the limit. This was 15%? Yeah, that's why. Now it's idling, because I poured in 2.5 gallons of brand new ethanol I had in the can. Oh, there it is. See that? Got water in it. And it just, boom, shut off. Watch this. I'll guarantee it'll fire right up if I step on the throttle. Yeah, she just quit. Just got some more water through it. And on idle, that's what it'll do. There you go. Now watch, it'll probably start spitting and sputtering because, yep, it's got water. Now the water's coming through again. I really don't feel like running a screw into my fuel tank, because my fuel tank's new. It's only 5 years old, but I think I'm gonna just keep putting ethanol and let it idle and run and try to get that water and crap through. Yeah, see how nice it was idling? Now look. But if I step on it, it's getting more gas than water, and it'll run. But now if I want to idle it, that's water. That's what water and the gas does. Well, I think you get it. I'm going to shut that off for now. Like I said, that's idle air controller. Can't do nothing about that. You heard it just run and fine, then it just dies for no reason. That's sucking the water through the system. I don't think 10% ethanol is going to be enough, and I don't want to do the old put a screw in the bottom of the fuel tank trick and then take the screw out and let everything run out till it runs clear gas, because there's like 4 low spots on this tank, and it's a fairly new tank. So what I'm going to do is finish putting in this 5 gallons, which should give me like 12 gallons of, well, at least 7 gallons of good gas, 7.5, with 10% alcohol in it. And then tomorrow after work, I'm going to swing by the freaking filling station that sells E85, 85% alcohol, and I'm going to get 2 gallons and put in my gas can. And when I'm going to come home, instead of dropping the tank, you can't suck it out with a sucker because you can't get every spot the water. I'm just going to end up running it and let it burn through. And it's not going to run great, but it's going to run better than this. I'm going to get 85% alcohol and pour in about a half a gallon with the 10% I already got. That'll give me 20%. And hopefully that's enough to help burn the water through as it's trying to ignite. And if that ain't enough, I said I'll pour in another half a gallon of 85% alcohol. Sooner or later, the water's going to get sucked through, and the alcohol is going to be able to absorb enough of it where it'll burn, and then it will suck all the moisture out. Till I get a half a gallon of water from somebody's fuel pumps again, when I get 7-8 gallons of fuel. Then you go through this over and over. Like every 5-6 years, I've had it happen. I've found that on, it takes 2 or 3 hands to count how many times I've been through this on vehicles. Everything else checks out perfect, fuel pressure, except, pull the fuel filter. It's really easy when it's cold as hell out and you got a clear filter like they used to have, like I got on my pickup on the carburetor. When it's below freezing, you just open the hood and look in your fuel filter that's that big around and clear, and you'll see it. If it's about 25 degrees, the water's at the bottom and it's a block of ice. You can see it. These you can't, they're steel, but that's the problem. But that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna have to order another fuel filter because the rusty goo is gonna get through and probably harm the new one, even though it ain't gonna totally plug it. So I'm gonna get another one, $14. And I'm pain in the butt, jack up the car, crawl underneath, boom, boom, 3 different lines, unhook it. It's a pain in the butt. Take 45 minutes to an hour. But I'm going to change it again after it's running correctly. I said I'm going to finish dumping that in. I'm getting 2 gallons of E85. This is 10% alcohol. I'm going to get 85% alcohol. And hopefully that'll be enough. If I add it gradually into this good gas, it'll be able to absorb the water, suck it out where I don't have to do a screw trick or drop the whole damn tank and dump it all out and flush the tank and then put it back in. This is my easiest try so far. I've had so much water in vehicles that we've had to drop the freaking fuel tank and just dump everything out. And those are the ones that had the filter with the fuel pump in the tank, and it ruined the fuel pump. And you had to change all that. We're talking $1,000 bill. They should just keep adding good gas, some E85, $14 freaking fuel filters, and keep after it. But I got to keep driving my gas hog. But I figured my mileage today driving this thing with my new Chinesium carburetor, I finally got tuned right, and it ain't been muddy or raining and soggy. I got 15 miles to the gallon with this thing. when it was dry and nice. And before I changed that carburetor over, I knew the other one somebody messed with and it was all screwed up. I was getting 10 miles at a gallon. 50% improvement in my mileage by getting a Chinesium copy carburetor that ain't been screwed with by somebody that didn't know what they were doing. And then I just tuned the carburetor and everything myself. Yeah, go from 10 miles a gallon to 15. If you could get 50% more fuel mileage out of your car and you're getting 30, you'd be getting 45. There you go. Damn, I'm good. All right. Now I got to get back to holding this heavy dog. I got like a gallon and a half out. So I'll let you know what happens if I got to use the E85 or I can just blend it in slowly if it comes out of it. It's going to be like 95 degrees tomorrow, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100 for the next 6 days after that. So, and then I'll be working most of the time. So I don't want to leave this just sitting, but I'm not going to be driving it and have it die on the road and decide not to start because of something plugged totally. And it's 100 freaking degrees out when I can drive the gas hog. So we'll get it worked out slow but sure. It'll take some time. I might just have to leave it sit here in the driveway and put a block of wood against the throttle and kind of wind it out at like 1400 RPM and stick a garden hose on the radiator so my electric fan ain't running constantly to keep it cool and burn all the gas and the water out till it runs right again. There's another trick. I'll be back. Peace, love, have a heart, have a heart. It's all good. I said I got 46 years experience messing with this stuff. I know how to check stuff and I'll come up with what's wrong. When I find what's wrong, I can fix it. But sometimes all this computerized stuff, it's tough. I check my codes and ain't throwing even a misfire code. Ain't showing nothing except once I unplugged the idle air controller and then I scan it again, it come up, idle air controller malfunction. Hey, it caught that, it's unplugged. But misfires, that ain't going to come up. I said the fuel pressure, my Lincoln will show fuel pressure and stuff on it, but if there's water in it and it's misfiring, it ain't going to know why the misfire is, and you're still going to have your regular amount of fuel pressure, but water doesn't burn very well when there's too much water in with the gas trying to mix with air to make a pow in the cylinders to make them go uppy downy. You know what I mean? Unless it's a Wankel engine, then it makes it go roundy like this. They don't go up and down. It's like a triangle that goes around, like 5 of them. Look up a Wankel engine. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Mazda rotaries. Yeah. All right, I'll be back. I got all kinds of cool information. I said, yeah, old souls have total unbelievable amounts of true information. I'll be back. I'll let you know how it goes. Peace. Love, have a heart, have a heart. Don't let stuff get you down. Time, a lot of time, but not a whole lot of money, I hope. Well, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'll get it worked out this way. I said, worst comes to worst, I'll have to drill a hole in the bottom, run a tapper screw in the tank, and let all the water run out. But if I go let it sit here and idle 3-4 hours a day on a high idle over the weekend in a day or two, it's going to have to suck all that stuff through. So that's what's wrong. Okay. Time to go pour some more fuel in the Kia Racer. God's bless. Don't let stuff get you down. Use your mind. Think. And if you don't know, find someone that you trust that has some knowledge, like me, and ask them. And they can help you out. But don't believe what you see on YouTube and stuff. 90% of it's bullshit. But I am correct because I show you, as I'm doing it, what the results are. And I have hundreds, if not thousands, of happy customers. I've worked on their stuff. And they know one thing. I do the best work around. God bless. I'll be back. Ciao. Take care.